everybody, Elizabeth here at Petals and Parchment. Welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm so excited. I just got a copy of my book, Lost in the Looking Glass, from Amazon. And this is so surreal, you guys. I can't believe it. My face is on the back of this thing. Here, let me show you a peek inside. I'm really happy with it finally. I had to do about 1,000 edits because the one that I designed for my coffee shop and the format for this book are completely different animals. Then I went back and I added some lined pages. But it was important to me because I wanted every page to be usable. And then I thought if they go and they get the kit, then they can have the pages forever. And you could also print the pages from the kit directly onto the back of this. So there would still be journal lines, but it is a possibility to run this through your printer too. I mean, there's just so many things you can do with it. But yeah, I'm just like super happy with it. The pages are matte, so there's no gloss to it at all, and they feel really great, and they're bright and vibrant, just like the images that I created, which is really satisfying because not all of our printers cooperate with us, as some of us know. This is my favorite story. I've loved this story since I was a little girl. I used to watch this when I was a kid. I would stay home sick and put in Alice in Wonderland. It was just my favorite. And if you join the Petals and Parchment Papery, then you can get this kit for only $5 and have it forever. And I'm releasing bonus pages every week that match this book and the kit, and I've got challenges happening in the Facebook group. So if you're a part of that group, come over and check it out and see what the challenge is all about. Each week we're gonna have something different. Last week was the Mad Hatter's Hat Hidden Journaling card. This week is the Garden Zine, and I'll show you those papers here in a minute. I just love how it looks. Very happy with it. If you got this book, thank you so much for supporting my dream and for treating yourself to such a sweet little gift. It means the world to me. If you make something with this book, please tag me in it. I would love to see what you make. So there we go. Thank you for taking a look with me. And if you're interested, these are available on Amazon, and the link is in my link tree, which I'll link below. And without further ado, let's get started. Here are a few of the pages from this week's set of bonus pages. This will make a zine, which we are going to do today together. But as my design team Sala also pointed out, you could cut these apart and turn them into journaling cards. You could cut them into twos and make them into a little mini booklet. You could cut them into threes or fours and make them an accordion. You could cut 2 sets of 4 and glue them together and make a really long accordion. So there's a lot of options. Just because we're making a zine with this today doesn't mean you can't take it and do something completely different with it. And then I've backed it with the backing sheet just so that when you see inside the pockets, it's not white. And then this is one of my favorite pages, which are the flowers from the garden. And there's some little accoutrements, and I did some washi tape that looks like green grass, and some quotes here, and then I'm gonna get all these cut out. Join me and put together this zine. Okay, oh my goodness, you guys, I am obsessed. These are so cute. Look at this. Oh my goodness. Daffodils are my favorite flower. I love them so much. They're just so silly, so I had to make this one extra silly for myself. And then, you guys, these are stickers. Can you believe it? I turned these into stickers using these Altenew double-sided adhesive multi-purpose sheets. These are amazing. I just printed the page on cardstock and then I stuck it to the sticker sheet. And you guys, I have some grass washi tape. This is so great. So I can just add like a little bit to my zine here. And you want to see another fun trick? One of the advantages to just having these baskets, whoop, all cleaned up. So let's go ahead and get out our scoreboards, and I find that it's much easier to score before you do any cutting. So I'm just gonna start in the middle and score as close to the middle of each white line as I can. So that might mean having to move the paper a little bit to line it up with whichever one fits the best. So then next I'm gonna move to this one. And if you don't have a scoreboard, that's totally okay. It is not a necessary tool. You can just take like a metal ruler and an embossing tool. So don't think that you have to have everything right away if you're just getting started. And you can also just fold it the good old-fashioned way, right? But before we do that, I wanted to discuss printer settings a little bit. So my printer doesn't cooperate. When I select borderless, it still gives me this business, which, call me crazy, but that's not borderless, right? So very frustrating. So you might have better luck lining it up if you cut the white off first, if your printer is like mine. If you have a printer that prints borderless, wonderful, you can get going. But for me, I am going to trim around this whole thing and tell you a little bit about this set of printables this week. My favorite scene when I was at home sick as a child watching Alice in Wonderland was the garden scene where they sing and they accuse poor Alice of being a weed and a wildflower. That was always my favorite part. So this zine idea was really just a way to get all of the fun elements of that scene in one project, because I loved all the flowers so much and all the little creatures that you could find in that garden in that particular part of the movie. And then each of these sides I fold once more towards the center, like so. And you want to burnish really well with your bone folder, particularly if you're using cardstock. You just want to make sure to really burnish every line. Then easy peasy, you just fold it in half and you cut in the middle to the center line and stop. Then you open it back up, push the two edges together, and then encourage the folds to happen again. And then you can decide which section you would like to be your front cover. I usually go with whichever one is giving me the least amount of trouble. And then when you make that decision, you'll just go back in and like train the paper to do what you want it to do. So I usually do this with plain printer paper, like plain regular weight printer paper, because it's hard to get it to do what you want. But we're gonna just keep working with it until it cooperates. There we go. And one more, I'm gonna open up here and do this side. just really make it do what you want. That's what I do. And look how pretty that is. So we've got bread and butterflies kissing tulips, and then Alice's view walking through the garden here, and then we've got a few journaling spots. And so you get to decide now where you want to glue this. You could, since it's Alice in Wonderland, be really silly and do everything upside down. But typically I usually just glue here along the bottom, and then I'll have a pocket right here, and then I'll glue on the bottom here, and I'll have a pocket in the top here. Same one here, I'll just glue right here, and one more time at the back on the bottom. That's just my preference, but you can have pockets and tucks and things whichever direction that you would like. So I'm gonna get this glued, and I'll meet you right back here and we'll talk about decorating. Okay, so I'm using some Fabri-Tac, and even though we've trained the pages to go where we want, they're still probably not going to cooperate at first. So what I like to do is put a nice dollop of Fabri-Tac on, which, especially if you're using thinner paper, won't show like glue marks. It's not such a big deal with cardstock though. So I've got the reinforcements here, and I'm just gonna hold this down while I continue on to the next pages. Depending on the order you do the gluing, you can make this easier on yourself. I'm really excited about this sticker paper, you guys. Okay, and then go on to this third page here, and then I have one more page here. Okay, I'm going to set this aside for a moment. Okay, so let's get it open here and see what we can do. So I need some green. It's peeled paint, Distress Oxide, and I'm just going to touch up this edge. I used some deckled scissors to cut this. So I cut it out by hand after I put it on the sticker paper, and using a deckled edge scissors gave it kind of this nice choppy edge like real grass, and I just covered up any white there because of the cut. So let's go ahead and cut a little snippet of grass here and test our first sticker. Oh my gosh, how fun. I'm gonna put the tulip first, and I think I'm gonna stamp a little bit. Not think about it too much, and I'm going to go ahead and stick that down. And then just put a little tiny dab of glue right on the center of the butterfly, leaving the wings free. I'm gonna let this dry and then clean up my station and come back and do one more page with you. Okay, so here are some elements that I've chosen to work with, and I grabbed some little gray bits and bobs. I'm just going to cover everything that I don't want to get stamped. me move you a little bit closer. The last thing that I'm going to do on this side is just kind of clumsily trace around each of the words just to give them a little bit more definition. And I'm also going to draw some wonky lines around the outside here. And I'm using a Uniball Signo pen, which is just like a gel pen that I like. And I'm just going to cover this, splash it up. And here's my little Alice Garden zine all finished. Got cute little charms here and a closure. I'll show you what I did. I had some stickers I got from Daiso and Happy Planner. I had so much fun putting this together. I hope you give it a try and show me what you make. Just a sweet little journaling card hidden in an envelope, hidden in a zine, eventually hidden in a journal. Just one little element to put in a journal to brighten someone's day. If you make this project, be sure to use the hashtag lostinthelookingglass so that we can see your beautiful artwork and so we can enter you in the drawing for a chance to win prizes at the end of the month. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you had fun in the garden with me. Until next time, stay crafty, everybody. Bye!